All right, let's get right into it. Today, how a fully automated trading system actually works. We're going to look at three different platforms, TradingView, Bybit, and this middle piece called Karbon, and see how they all team up to create a really smooth, rule-based way to trade. Let's see how it all fits together. This is the big question, isn't it? It's the one that every single trader has to face. The split-second decisions, the FOMO, that hesitation when you know you should close the trade. We've all been there. These are the things that can completely wreck a great strategy. So what if you could just build a system that executes for you? No emotion, no fat finger mistakes, just pure cold discipline. Well, that's the exact problem we're going to unpack today. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll meet the players on this automated team. Then, we'll follow a trade from the very beginning, from the initial idea all the way to the end. We'll look at how it's managed live, how everything gets logged, and then we'll wrap it all up with a super practical checklist on how to get started safely. Okay, let's meet the team. Now, the best way to get your head around this is to stop thinking of it as just one piece of software. Instead, I want you to picture a small, specialized team of three, where each member has one very specific, very important job. This right here really simplifies the whole thing. First up, you've got the brain. That's TradingView. Its only job is to watch the market and decide when to trade. That's it. Next, you have the trade manager, which is Karbon. Karbon takes that signal from the brain and makes sure all of your rules are followed. How much to risk, how to manage the trade, all of it. And finally, there's the bank and engine, Bybit. This is where your money is held, and it's what actually places the trades. So think of it this way. Brain, manager, bank. Simple, right? Each part is totally separate, but they're all essential. So let's follow the complete journey of a trade from start to finish. Every single trade starts as just an idea, right? A signal. In this section, we're going to see exactly how that little spark gets turned into a real set of instructions ready to be executed. It all kicks off in TradingView. Your strategy or your indicator sees an opportunity and it generates a signal, a simple long or short. The second that happens, a TradingView alert fires off a message straight to Karbon. And this is a perfect example of that separation of jobs. TradingView's work is now done. It decided when, and now it passes the baton. Now, as soon as Karbon gets that alert, it doesn't just blindly follow it. No way. It acts like a bouncer at a club, running through a checklist that you set up. It asks, is this the right direction? Are we already at our max for open trades? Does this break any of our hedging rules? Only if that signal gets a yes to all those questions does it even move on to the next step. And here's a really crucial point, just for your peace of mind. Even after the signal gets the green light, nothing has actually happened in your exchange account. Not a penny has moved, no order has been placed. Carbonas is just quietly working in the background, getting the detailed trade instructions ready based on the next set of rules. This is where you are in the driver's seat. Inside your Karbon setup, you define the entire game plan for how a trade is handled. You set the exact size, the leverage, your rules for taking profits, and even more advanced stuff like dollar cost averaging, which is basically just a rule to automatically buy more if the price moves against you. You are the architect of your own risk management. And honestly, this is the core principle of the whole thing. The system isn't some black box trying to outsmart the market. It is a direct, one-to-one follower of the rules you wrote. It doesn't improvise, it doesn't get creative, and it definitely doesn't have feelings. It just follows your plan with perfect discipline every single time. Okay, so the instructions are prepped and they have been validated. Now we get to the good part. This is where the action happens. Let's see what goes down when the order is sent to the exchange and has to be managed in a live, moving market. Once everything is ready to go, Karbon sends the final instructions over to Bybit through a secure connection. And again, just look at how clear the job descriptions are. Karbon is the manager. It does the calculations and sends the orders. Bybit is the engine. It holds your money safely, it executes the trades instantly, and it's where your profit and loss actually exists. This is probably the most important security feature to understand, so let's be crystal clear. Your money, your capital, it always stays in your own Bybit account. The connection gives Karbon permission to place and manage trades for you, but it absolutely, explicitly does not have permission to withdraw your funds. It's a non-custodial relationship, and that's key. So, the trade is open. Now what? Well, this is where the automation really starts to shine. Based on the rules you already set up, Karbon is actively managing that position 24/7. It can automatically add to a trade, it can take partial profits at different levels, it can move your stop loss up to lock in gains, and of course, it closes the trade at your final take profit or stop loss. It's your strategy running on autopilot. And that really is the main takeaway here. The real power isn't just about placing the first order. It's about the relentless, disciplined management of that trade from beginning to end. It frees you from having to be glued to your screen, and it protects you from making emotional calls in the heat of the moment. All right, the trade is closed, but the process isn't quite over yet. A huge part of any serious trading system is being able to review what happened, and this entire setup is built for total transparency. The whole system makes sure everything is transparent by logging it in two places. Think of it like having two sets of books that have to match up perfectly. Inside Karbon, you see a detailed history of every single management decision, every entry, every adjustment, the performance at each stage. Then, over on Bybit, you have the final, indisputable record, the actual profit or loss in your account. This gives you a complete, fully auditable trail for every trade. So we've seen how it all works. Now let's talk about the most important part, how you approach this responsibly. This is not some magic money printing machine, it's a powerful tool. And just like any tool, you have to know how to use it correctly and safely. Okay, here is your 5-step safety plan. First, everything, and I mean everything, starts with a solid, well-tested strategy in TradingView. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. Second, take your time setting everything up in Karbon before you flip the switch. Third, and this is non-negotiable, start small. I'm talking tiny trade size, low leverage. Fourth, you need to manually watch the first few trades. Verify on Bybit that it's all working exactly like you planned. And only after you've seen it work consistently should you even think about scaling up. Look, if you only take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. Karbon is not the brain and it's not the bank. It is the disciplined middle manager. Its only job is to take a trading signal and wrap your personal money management rules around it. It's designed to systematically remove the two things that sink most traders, emotion and manual error. And that kind of leaves us with a big question to think about. As tools like this become easier for everyone to use, are we looking at a future where the main skill for a trader isn't clicking buttons, but is actually designing strategies and managing risk? Is this kind of disciplined automation the next big step in how we all trade? Definitely something to consider.